Right here, I'm gonna start a weekend reading vlog. I am still doing the Avengers Eternals challenge, so I'm sort of at the beck and call of them, especially for the weekend, because I tend to get a lot more reading done during the weekend than I do during the week. But I am reading Legends and Lattes, which is the book that I'm in the middle of reading. I have to read another like 30 minutes, I would say, to do my 2 hours of reading, so I'm probably gonna do that on the way to yoga in a little bit. I'm probably going to read physically walking. And then when I come home, I have to read outside for an hour. And then I think I have to pick up another book. So that is the plan. It's really, really cute, though. It reminds me a lot of like a D&D game. Like, that's what it reminds me of. It's very, very low stakes. Like, you have this orc, and her name is Viv, and she decides to stop going on quests and stop injuring people, and she wants to open up a coffee shop in this little village. And it's not going well right now because no one knows what coffee is, and it's just really, really fun. Like, I really, really am liking it. It's a very, very fun, quick read. But yeah, so that's sort of what this weekend is. My puppy is very, very upset right now. She is having a lot of issues with her stomach. And she's just in a sad mood. She also didn't sleep that well last night, so hopefully we can like go outside today and relax and read outside at least for a little bit. But I'm going to let her take the wheels today and do whatever she wants because she's not in the best mood. She's not very into change when we change things with her or try to make her do something different. She just gets nervous and she gets really, really upset. So we don't want that. We want to like calm her down. I also have to go run to the library and do some other little things today. So I'm going to go head to town with my audiobook. I'll have an audiobook if I need it, but I think I am going to try to listen to read Legends and Lattes as I'm walking. I have to read like for half an hour. And I'll talk to you guys when I get home from yoga. Bye, friends. I just want to do a quick check-in. I'm back in my favorite sitting seat to sit in and read. But because the puppy has been so loving this chair, whenever I sit in it, she just wants to bite it, and she's in her biting days. So I can really only sit in here when she's inside sleeping, which is not going to be a lot of time, but when my puppy is sleeping, I'll be able to sit here. But I did want to say that I didn't wind up listening to anything because I was just reading, because I really had to finish my 2 hours of reading this book, which works out because I only have about 2 hours left, so it does work out. But I did get to chapter 16 in Legends and Lattes. It's just so sweet. It reminds me of reading like a cozy mystery story, but set almost in like medieval times with like fun characters, and like you keep gaining all of these characters like as the story goes on. Like, you started off with this orc who just opened up a coffee shop, then you have someone that like a succubus that is working with her, and then you have a little guy that's like a baker, and now you have a bard. It's just very, very heartwarming. It reminds me of the feelings I got when I read House on the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Kuhn. Like, I love that book. This is very, very similar vibes and very, very similar feels. But there is like a little bit of stakes because like there's this guy on the street that like takes their money to like make sure that they're protected, but really he's just taxing them for no reason. So that's like the stakes element that I'm intrigued by, and her first indication is to like fight and not give her money because she's been an orc her whole life and she's had to go on quest. You've also got a little bit of dive into her past, which is really exciting. So the next prompt is to read outside for an hour, which I think I'm definitely going to be able to do. It may take a little bit of a reading break to get some food, but that is the plan. So I'm going to go read for an hour outside, and maybe then the puppy will be up. If not, I'll probably just keep sitting here, but I'm going to go read for an hour, watch some older YouTube videos, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Bye, friends. Sorry for the other weird angle. It's raining inside, and my puppy has picked a very awkward place to sit. But I did finish 2 challenges pretty much back to back. I read 2 hours in my food book, which is Legends and Lattes, and then sort of right after that, I read outside for an hour before it started to pour. So I'm going to count that, and I am going to go read another 100 pages in my book with an animal companion, which is Legends and Lattes. There is a little cat that sort of goes in and out of the scenes. Her name is Amity, and I'm going to count that. So basically, I just have to finish this book to move on, which I'm really excited about. I think that's doable for today. I think I could definitely do that and get that done, which I'm really excited about. And yeah, I will update you guys when I can. Probably when I read maybe like 50 more pages, I'll give you guys an update. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye from the position because it keeps raining. The puppy's sleeping over there. But I did want to say that I did wind up getting up to page 245 in Legends and Lattes. It's just really, really fun. Again, in my previous clip, and I sort of said it reminds me a lot of House on the Cerulean Sea. It also reminds me of like reading a D&D game, but just like a later version. I also really do like cozy mysteries, so like there is like no mysterious element to this story, but there are some like tension moments, which I think keeps me reading. It's just fun. Like I like the main characters. I like that we keep getting more characters thrown throughout this story. It's just delightful. Like I don't have any other words to say other than it's super cute. I have a feeling it might go like LGBTQ plus towards the very, very end, but I'm just liking it. It's a very, very fun, heartwarming read with not a lot of anxiety and not a lot of like high stakes. It's like low stakes, and it literally says high fantasy, low stakes, like in like the title, like in like the it just says it on the top of the book. But I'm really enjoying it. So I think I'm gonna take a little bit of a reading break. I'm gonna work out. Hopefully my puppy doesn't wake up. She might. We'll see. Um, but yeah, so I'm gonna finish watching one of Peace Loves Books videos. If you've not checked her out, definitely recommend. She has some really great romance recommendations, and I don't read enough romance, but I like her recommendations. So I'm gonna go watch a couple more of her videos, go work out. I was supposed to go for a bike ride today, but the rain crushed my plans. So I'm gonna go do a workout, and then I'm gonna read for a little bit, and then I'll check in with you guys when I'm done with Legends and Lattes, and then see what challenge I have left. I don't even remember because I really haven't looked, but I don't even know what I'm gonna read for the rest of the week. So we'll see. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. Another position. That's just gonna happen during these. Ooh, sorry, Cass. Sorry, I scared my puppy. This is gonna happen in these reading vlogs when I'm home by myself and I'm sort of at her beck and call where she wants to be. So right now it's the living room. She's sleeping. It's about 7 o'clock. It's about 6:50. So, but I did want to say that I did make significant progress on Legends and Lattes. It's just such a sweet read. Like, it reminds me of, like, House on the Cerulean Sea. It reminds me of The Maid, which is just a cozy read. And it's literally about this orc that is trying to open a cafe and the people that sort of come their way. And there's a lot of, like, low stakes elements that happens in their story. There is, like, a small plot line that is like connected throughout it. I don't want to spoil it, but there is some type of magic that's sort of causing some drama in her world, and it's just really interesting. Like, I would love a second book in this series, like, so much. So I'm just loving it. It really reminds me of The Maid, the elements of that. It reminds me of when I read like a cozy small town romance, and they have like they're opening up like a store or a bookstore. And there's always some drama. That's what this is, but it's just with like fantasy characters, like an orc and like a succubus and a little mouse, and it's just so fun and so delightful. My puppy is so sweet right now. But she's been teething all day, and she's been having some stomach issues because she really likes to eat grass. So, and we're trying to break her of that habit, but it's a lot of things to do. Make sure puppy, she's only 9 weeks, I think. Sorry, that was a tangent, but you'll probably get more puppy updates as the summer gets closer because I'll be home a little bit more. But she's very, very cute, and I really like my book. So I think I'm gonna go finish my book, and then I'm gonna go see like what the next challenge is. I think I have to finish a book that has bi or poly wrap. I think I have to look at the picture, and I don't know the graphic, and I don't know what that's on my TBR. I don't know if Melt With You is bi or not. Her last book was, but I'm gonna go do some research. But I'm gonna go finish this, and then we'll check in, and then I will tell you guys more about my reading updates. I'm also trying to make my way through my YouTube queue. Yeah, but I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. Puppy has moved rooms yet again. That's what happens when you by yourself, because you really just have to do what she wants to do, and she's in a biting phase, so she's just chewing on everything, and now she's resting. I hope she rests. She didn't really sleep that well last night, so she really just like slept all day, which is good for me anyway. But I just finished finishing Legends and Lattes, and then guys, it's just like a warm hug. Like, it just had so many elements of a story that, like, I really, really liked. And, like, I think if you're a traditional fantasy fan and, like, you, like high intense stories, this is not the read for you because it's literally just them building this coffee shop and putting the pieces together. It has elements that remind me of like a YA contemporary when they're like trying to like save something or like open something or do stuff like that, or like a small town mystery or stuff like that, or like small town romance. There is a slight romance plot throughout this whole thing that does sort of get revealed at the very, very end. But I just liked it. It was just a fun read. I have to pick another book that has to have either bi or pansexual representation. And I don't know if any of the books on my current TBR have that. So I'm going to go look up and see. I would love to read Melt With You by Jennifer Dugan, but I don't know if it has that rep. So I'm going to have to go do some research, pick a book, hopefully in my bedroom that has that rep. And then I'll check back in with you guys. So talk to you guys in a little bit. But really, really, really love Legends and Lattes. I'm definitely going to try to get it this October when it comes out from Orbit and just put it on my bookshelf because the game was just fun. Hope she writes more in the future. Like, I really love this book. Would love to see another book. It just put a smile on my face. So, very good. I'm going to go figure out my next read and then we'll report back. I did wind up finishing Legends and Lattes, like I told you, and then I didn't know what I was going to pick up next. So I think I settled on, so this is Ever After by F.T. Lukens. I have to read a book with a bisexual or pan main character. So I picked this one up, and right off the bat, it is really, really funny, and it's just delightful. It's like such a humorous way to tell a story. And I did buy In Deeper Waters, but I'm saving that for my trip to Aruba because I'm going to be like on a beach for like a week. So I figured I would stockpile some of my ocean themed books for that week when I go away. But I've only read about 14 pages, but right now the writing style is just making me smile. And it's sort of like the after effect of winning a war and like what is happening. And there was like it's a loosely inspired by Arthurian retelling, but you're following this character Alaric. I think that's his name. Arik, I think? Maybe Arik. Alaric, I don't know. But he is basically the prophesized chosen one, and he has basically just killed the villain. This is like in the first chapter. And he has to name himself king so that no one else takes over. And he thinks it's going to be quickety quick. They're going to find this princess, and she's going to take over. I don't think it's going to be that easy, but he also has deep feelings, like feelings for his best friend, and that's sort of the after effect. We also met his whole crew. And I really just want to keep reading because his writing style is just so funny. I feel like I'm being told the story in like such like a humorous way, and I'm just really, really liking it. I did also start the FDLS Keep Sweet on Netflix. I've always been fascinated by cults. It's just something that I'm interested in. I was a psych major for most of my college career, and cults always fascinate me. So I'm going to watch that as I'm sort of reading along with this, and I will give you guys an update when I get up to page 50. But so far, it's just really, really fun. I like his writing style, and I just love the representation, like, right off the bat. So I'm going to go read, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit when I've read a little bit more. Bye, friends. I just want to do a quick update. I didn't wind up reading anything in the last little bit. I was taking care of the puppy before my dad went to work, and I watched another episode of the FDLS documentary on Netflix. My goal is to read, like, a chapter of this and then go back to watching the documentary and do like a chapter every like little section. So, but I am liking it. When I get to 50 pages, I'll give you guys a more like a status update because it's just the beginning of the story. But I'm liking the writing style quite a bit. I like the characters. I think it's really, really fun. And you never really read a story set in the aftermath of like a war, I guess. Like you always see the build up. Reminds me a little bit of The Chosen Ones by Rana Karat that I tried to read a little bit well and DNF'd it, but I'm enjoying it. So I'm gonna go read a little bit more, watch my other episode of the FDLS documentary, and then I'll update you guys when I get to page 50 about. Lori here, I'm back. It is the 13th of June. Today did not go according to plan. I will say that. It didn't go the way I wanted it to. And I think we're all done. And I get it. I think the kids are done. I think it's the end of the year. And it was a rough day. I will say that. It is hard to look at where my drama club is now and see where it was in 2019 and know that it's not there, and it probably won't be there again for a while. As someone that's really organized and like really like detailed, it's also rough to realize that my whole department is sort of in shambles, and that's rough. Like, you know, I almost wish I could see what my career would have been like if I had a didn't the pandemic didn't happen, and like where my world would be and where my show would be, and you know, where my program would be. But we can't live in what if. So it was a rough day. I have to do a lot of things in the next 2 weeks, and I just don't think I'm gonna have enough time to do everything. We had a lot of events the last week that I was not necessarily prepared for, and stuff got lost, and that's all on me, so I have to try to find them. Which I hope I do, but if not, I'm just going to use it as a opportunity to try to get some new things for my auditorium if I wind up teaching there next year, which we don't know. But this always happens the end of the year. I remember my first year teaching, I had so many grand plans, like what I was going to do the next year, and then the next year just never happened. And then last year I taught fully remote mostly, so I really was never in my auditorium. And this year I have not been in my auditorium because they used it for lunch. So there was never a good time to like do the organizing. And my first year of teaching, I came in and like everything was super unorganized, and I was just trying to survive to teach. So it was just not a good day, and I still can't find the stuff I need to find, and I just have a lot of stuff to do. So, but the good news is I'm going to ALA next week, which I'm really excited about, which will be a nice little vacation for me. That's a crazy vacation, which is like a lot of stuff happening at once. But then I'm going to Aruba for a week and just relaxing on a beach, which is really, really nice. Sorry for that ramble. It's just been a day, and we all have those. But yeah, so I read to about page 118 in This Is Ever After by F.T. Lukens. I'm loving this book. It is just really, really funny and delightful, and like, it's just a fun read. I'm just really having a good time. Hey friends, Laurie here. I'm back. I just want to do a quick update. It is Monday. Things did not go according to plan today at work. We are heading to like the very end of the year. If you're watching this in real time, it is June 13th, and for most of the universe, school's over. New York City public school kids, it's not. We go to one more full week after this, so 2 full weeks, and the kids are done. I get it. And there's a lot of stuff that, because I've been basically teaching in a pandemic, I have neglected to do, and you know, I just need to get my butt in gear and get everything done, and it's just a lot. I think also there's a lot of stuff that I never did, and a lot of stuff in this pandemic has just gone other places, and yeah, we had a lot of events this past 2 weeks that just I was supposed to be in charge of, and it just never got relayed to me that I was supposed to be in charge of these events. So there was a lot of stuff that wasn't conveyed to me very, very well. So, but I hope tomorrow's better. I have a lot of stuff to get done the next like 2 weeks. I had really bad work-life balance my first year teaching. It was like atrocious. If you followed me back then, I took like 2 months off of YouTube. I was like so stressed out. My show went up, and it was a delight. It was a great experience, but it was also a really, really hard year because I didn't know how to differentiate work-life balance. And then once the pandemic happened, and really like before the pandemic even, I got really good at work-life balance, and I'm trying so hard to not get shoved back into bad work-life balance, which happens when I get overwhelmed and stressed out. I have a very, very strong like rule that I don't do work at home anymore. I don't create at home anymore. I don't do anything at home. And I leave all my projects in school. And I think because I've done that, it has hindered me in some ways the past 2 years because I have been so focused on grading at school and not like other projects I could be doing. And I'm not sure that I want to give up my work-life balance to grade at home so I could do things in school, and I just don't know how to like figure that all out. Sorry, I'm tired. It's like almost 9:30. But it was not a good day. Things did not go according to plan, and I just have to keep reminding myself that like it's not 2019 anymore, and there are a lot of things I just don't know about my department. So I have to remind myself that I'm a stage manager and I'm an organizer, and just sort of put everything in a way that makes sense to me, even if it makes sense to nobody. So yeah, that's sort of what my head's at. But a little bit of a reading update. I did wind up start making some more progress on So This Is Ever After by F.T. Lukens. I'll probably talk about it more tomorrow. It is a very, very funny read. It's just putting a big smile on my face, but I'm just having a really hard time focusing today. And it's upsetting because I had a really good day otherwise, but it's just a lot of stuff happened throughout the day that just progressively made it worse. Which is okay. We all have days like that. But yeah, so I have to try to fix my problems tomorrow, and I don't know how that's gonna go. So we'll see. But I'm gonna update you guys tomorrow, hopefully. The puppy had a lot of biting incidents today as well, and she didn't really spend as much time with me, which is okay. But yeah, that's sort of where my head's at. We only have like 2 weeks left of school, and normally I'm so excited, but I'm also not where I need to be to take that break. So that's sort of where I am at, and I'm not tired. I'm not crying. I'm just tired. So yeah, I'm gonna talk to you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll have just a good update. Just like the day went good, and I'd be happy with that. But sometimes things don't go according to plan. But I'm gonna go get ready for bed. Watch the end of my live show that I'm in the middle of with Peace Love Books, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, friends. Lori here, I'm back. Sorry, it is Thursday. This has just not been my week. It's just been a really, really weird week, and we're getting to the very end of the school year, and the very end of the school year is just a bit stressful, to be very honest with you. There's a lot happening grade-wise and other stuff. It's just like a bit chaotic. And the one thing I always say about June is it feels like we end school like 5 different times because there's so many days off, and it's just like really inconsistent. Like the senior trip was today, and then graduation is next week, and then we have field day, and then we still have work for 2 more days. So it's just like a really, really weird schedule, and it just puts you in like a really, really big funk. At least it does to me, because I feel like I really can't start anything new, and then I feel like if I do start anything new, like how will it work with next year? I'm also crazy dehydrated because I don't drink enough water. And then you start thinking about next year, and like for the past 3 school years, 2 school years, like 2020 and 2021, it has been a bit of a mess. Like, we really didn't know what to expect next year. Next year will just bring about a lot of change, I think, like whether we want it or not. I'm also for tenure this year, which is the big thing in the school system, and in September I will like have control of like my stock and stuff like that. So like, I'm like a very, very neat person. You would not believe me if you see my bedroom, but I like am in my professional life, I am very neat and I'm very, very organized, and I just haven't had the opportunity to do that since I got hired at this job, because of like a first year of teaching, which is always crazy and chaotic, and then a pandemic. Basically 3 school years we had a pandemic, because we had a pandemic like 2020, the end of 2020. We didn't even get to wrap up that year like we normally do. And then 2021 school year, we were fully remote, or I was fully remote for most of it. Like, I think we went fully remote in November, we came back in January, and then for the rest of that year, I only had 2 in-person classes. So it was like a really different year. And then this year was supposed to be getting back to normal, and it was like anything but that. I had all my classes in person, but it was like not what I thought it was going to be. Not that it was like better. I mean, it was just different. I think I expected a little bit more out of this year for myself. Like, so it was just a weird year. And like, as a really creative person whose department is very, very stretched on like creating stuff and putting up shows and acting and performing and stuff like that, I haven't done that since 2019, really. Like, I haven't done that for a whole year, basically. Like, we started it the end of the 2019 school year, but 2020, like, it was just a wash. So it's been a while. I had a really good conversation with my coworker who I work with, and we do the show together, and we had a really good conversation about like what we want next year to look like, what we don't want next year to look like. So it's just been a weird week. I have to say goodbye to like 2 of my classes tomorrow, and they're my seniors. These are the kids that I worked with, most of them for 3 years. Like, I worked with these kids for 3 years on and off. Like, during the pandemic, some of these kids I started with, some of them I worked with last year. So I have to say goodbye to 2 classes tomorrow, really, really early, and then I have to say goodbye to 2 senior classes next week, and then I gotta say goodbye to like 6 classes next week. Um, yeah, so it's just hard, and but I wanted to say that that's why the vlogs have been a bit weird and a bit wonky. We also have a new puppy, and I really do want to give her the attention that she deserves. But I'm so close to being done with So This Is Ever After by FT Lukens. I'm probably just going to wrap this up while I'm sort of watching her play in her cage. And I will check in with you guys when I'm done. But yeah, it's just, there's a lot of stuff happening in the next 2 weeks. I'm going to ALA next week, and then I'm going to Aruba for a week. So it's just a little bit chaotic. And I know that once I set foot in Aruba, it will all be worth it. So, but I'm going to go finish my book, stare at my puppy, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. I'm back. Sorry, my backdrop has changed a little bit. This is the cushion that's supposed to be in my chair outside, but I'm just too lazy to move it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this reading blog going until like probably Monday, because I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I'm going into the city with a couple of friends. But I did want to say that I did want to finishing So This Is Ever After by FT Lukens. I really enjoyed that book. Probably going to be a 5-star read for me. It was really, really enjoyable. And then I was trying to catch up on my challenges, so I had to read 3 chapters from books that I think I was going to love, but then a boss battle happened, or like a challenge happened. I had to do it twice, so it took me all day yesterday and the day before to read it. It was a really, really weird day, weird week at work. But one of those books I read for the first time that I did it was In Every Generation by Kendra Blake. So I think I'm going to pick this book up and read it as far as I can. I don't know how far I'm going to be able to read it because I have like a lot of other challenges going on. But this is the sequel series set with Disney now. The other Buffy the Vampire series I said was written by Simon, and that was by Kirsten White, but this is by Kendra Blake. I've literally read like 18 pages of this, so I don't feel confident to give you guys anything, but it follows Willow's daughter. So I'm excited to keep reading. There was a very, very big like plot twist that happened at the start of the book, so I'm really excited to see that. But I have to go do like a 30-minute thing. I have to like research some of the books by this just for our challenge. So I'm gonna go do that for 30 minutes. Then I'll check back in. My dad has to go to work today, so the puppy is my responsibility, but she's sleeping right now. Well, we think she's sleeping. So yeah, I'm gonna go do what I have to do, listen to some true crime, because that's really all I've been able to listen to because I've been doing so many other things. And I will talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. Here, just checking back in. I did want to say that I did wind up getting to check, pretty much page 46 in Every Generation by Kendra Blake. I really am liking this book quite a bit. I think my next week is just gonna sort of be me reading like a bunch of like entertainment tie-ins because it's gonna be a busy week next week. So, but tomorrow, because I'm heading to the city and I have to do a prompt of read a book that I've been saving for a read-a-thon, and I'm gonna be like on the train and such. I think I'm just gonna bring my Kindle and like a book as a backup. I think I'm gonna read one of the graphic one of the Avatar: The Last Airbender comics. I don't know which one I'm up to, so I'm gonna have to go look it up, and then I'll check in with you guys and tell you guys which one I'm going to read next. But I think that's what I am gonna read next, because it's simple, and then I can check that off my list really, really simply. And then I'm probably gonna go back to Feather and Flame. We'll see. We'll see what the next prompt is. I don't remember what it is. But I do need to like finish Feather and Flame at some point, so we'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna go figure out what the next book is gonna be. The graphic novel I'm gonna bring, and I'm probably gonna bring Feather and Flame with me on the commute tomorrow. And if I finish it, I finish it, and if I don't, I don't. But that's the plan. But I'm gonna go figure out what I have to read next. Bye, friends. Here I'm back. Yesterday was a crazy day. Sorry, I have a puppy next to me that is not always cooperating. We went to the city. I did a bit of book shopping. I went to go see Lightyear. Sorry, my dog is attacking her bed. Stop. She's very, very cute here. I'll see if you can see her. Yeah, she's attacking her bed. But that's Cassie. Her teething phase. You wanna say hi to the camera? Say hi. There's her ears. Say hi. I went to go see Lightyear, which was really exciting. I did a bit of book shopping. For those that don't know, I'm heading to ALA this week, and then I'm going to Aruba next week. School ends next week at the start of the week. Stop. So it's gonna be a busy week, but I did just want to pop up and say that I did wind up finishing Imbalance, which is one of the Avatar comics, which was really, really interesting. It dived a lot into racism and like very prevalent to like this time of our lives. It was very, very prevalent. I don't know when it was written, but it was very, very prevalent. And then because I'm in a reading challenge, I picked up Deafo by C.C. Bell, which is a graphic memoir about her growing up as a deaf student in elementary school. Really, really cute so far. I love it. I love the art style. It's really, really interesting. Very, very good for middle school kids and even elementary school kids if you read it to them. Any kids that learn differently, I think this would be great. I felt a lot of connection to the main character as someone that was not deaf but did struggle with a lot of learning disabilities. I really did enjoy it. I have to film a couple of videos today. Hopefully she'll cooperate and let me do it. But I also do want to go for a bike ride. I have been really falling a little bit behind, but my goal is to finish El Deafo and then just see how much reading I can get done. I have a audiobook. I have a couple of things I would like to do today. But right now I'm kind of focusing on her. She's having a teething issue, so I'll show you how she sits. So yeah, I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna do my book haul. I was supposed to not buy any books this month, and I did okay. I still got a lot of my pre-orders in. I did a little bit of book shopping yesterday, so I have a couple of things to show you. So I'm gonna go do that, and then I'll come back when I'm ready to start reading. I also have to pack for ALA. Yeah, so I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. This reading vlog because I am heading away, so I need to film some stuff, and I want this reading vlog to be able to go up this week. So in this reading vlog, I finished reading Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldari. Really love that. It was really, really cute, really, really fun, really, really delightful. And then I picked up, so this is Ever After by F.T. Lukens, which I also really enjoyed. It was another really, really solid read, one that really put a smile on my face, and again was 5 stars. And then I picked up Imbalance, which is part of the Avatar comic line. Really like that as well. Like I really, really enjoyed it. Gave that 4 stars, which I didn't really vlog the whole process. I'll talk more about that in my wrap up. And then I read about most of El Deafo, which I will talk about in my next reading vlog because I'm going to wrap it up at that point. But very, very fun read. This week is going to be a bit chaotic because I am going to ALA for the weekend, so I won't be home to film. So I'm going to try to film like every single day when I come home from work. Hasn't been the most successful thing that I've ever done, but I'm going to try to do it this week, and I'm going to start today. So hopefully I'll have a lot of content for you guys today, and that will be a majority of my reading vlog. So yeah, I'm going to go film this video, post and upload this video, and then I'm going to film one more video for next week, I think, because I have to do a wrap up and a TBR next week. And then I also need to film a video for like next week when I'm in Aruba. So I'm going to go do those, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Tell me in the comments what are you currently reading, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, friends.